Performance art is the newest up-and-coming medium in art. The artist is actually present while making art, and so they create some sort of experience that viewers can see and interpret.
It's in the art world just like painting and drawing, and so if you would compare it to painting, it would be like, I am the paint and everything else is a canvas, and I am going to use my body and different objects to paint this picture in the environment and in the surroundings.
Performance art is a course that's offered at UNI, and it was required for me to take my curriculum, and so I took it being very hesitant, not knowing what it was.
And I was really into learning many new things, and so I took it and I fell in love with it right away, and I couldn't stop taking it. I'd just been taking the class ever since.
With theater, the actors take on a character and they try to become someone that they aren't actually themselves. They're a character. With performance art, we're not trying to be anyone except for who we are, and we're being genuine to ourselves and to the art form and expressing ourselves however we feel fit. I believe that anything can be performance art. Everybody's an artist, and so the way they see anything around them can be considered art, and I consider that performance art. And so you can be intentional with the actions that you do, where you perform. You can choose all the different environments, and you can choose if you have an audience to see it live or if you can show it through video. So really anything and everything is performance art.
And so it starts with this idea, and then I can't plan it all in my head because it would be cut short, because you can't like imagine everything that's going to happen. You can't imagine all these faults that might come up, or materials might work in a different way than how you think they do. And so a lot of it is you come up with this idea, but then you have to explore with the objects and explore with the items to see how they really work, and then see what comes from that. So a lot of it is just allowing things to happen and playing, but in a way where you're being critical of what's working best and analyzing everything and reflecting. And it's a process where you really have to be present. Like, you have to be there, mind, body, energy, just continuously there and working and on it.
With the work we're working on now, we explore objects. We call them object discoveries. And so we have random objects that we find around us and find ways to move and interact with them. And so the entire performance itself is basically just a discovery. We don't usually plan what we're going to do with these particular pieces. We just move with them and see how our bodies work and how the objects work. I think the first time we ever did an object discovery was really intriguing. We didn't know what we were doing. We just were in a room with 4 objects and started moving, and we ended up going for about half an hour to 45 minutes. And it was amazing how the time just flew, and we got lost in the performance.
Melissa and I had been working a lot with this object exploration and process, and how different movements would come about, or different sequences of movements would come about and create a piece and what they would say all together. And so we had been doing a lot of free-form movements where we would explore it as we went, but this one we had like set movements. And so for this one we were just kind of like setting up the bar higher for ourselves, and can we do this, and how will our history of just using objects and exploring the objects relate to then moving into specific movements that we're going to do with these objects.
And so we started with just objects and figuring out how we could move with them, and we found 5 specific movements that we enjoyed, and then put them in an order, and we just continued them over and over.
My favorite part about performance art would definitely be it's open to whatever you're feeling in that moment. So no matter what it is in that exact moment, you can make it happen. And just the ability to create something that you imagine or something that you feel, and have other people share it with you, and have that like back and forth exchange of energy and of feelings.
Performance art, I can express myself while being present in the artwork. I find that really enjoying. Like with painting, I can paint it and hang the painting on the wall and everyone else can see it, but I'm separate from the work. With performance, I'm present there the entire time.
One thing that was really incredible to experience through this college performance art exploration was how everything then turned into performance art, where me even brushing my teeth was a performance art piece, or any small thing that I would do in my daily life would turn into not necessarily like, oh, this is a performance I'm performing, but like me noticing it differently or thinking of it differently in a way that I hadn't thought of it before. And so then it kept everything fresh. Even brushing my teeth every night would become this new fresh experience, and it would make life more exciting and everything more exciting, really, seeing everything differently. And so then when I think about like how performance art is going to fit in my future, it's like, well, it's always going to be there because it's always there no matter what. You just have to think of it as it being there. And it's more of a mind process in that sort of way, or a mindset. And so it's nice because it opens it up to everything.